Hey, what's up everybody, Andrew here. Today I give you my reasons why I switched from the iPhone 10 to the iPhone XR. Don't get me wrong, the iPhone 10 is an amazing phone, but the XR just has some very cool features, and just the way the phone works makes it a better phone in my opinion, at least for my use. Alright, let me give you my reasons why. Let's get started. Number one is one of the biggest reasons in my opinion if you have sensitive eyes is PWM, which stands for pulse width modulation. It's a type of technology used to dim the display on OLED panels. As you can see, the screen is flickering on the iPhone 10. Keep in mind this is recorded in slow motion at 240 frames per second. To the naked eye you can't see this, but if you have sensitive eyes, you'll get eye strain, headaches, or a combination of both. It's a terrible feeling. And good thing the PWM is not present on the iPhone XR. Number two, if you're a T-Mobile user, this is a very big one, which is Band 71 support for T-Mobile's new 600 MHz frequency. This promises much better network connection in rural areas and better building penetration. I think this is much more important than the Gigabit LTE which is found on the iPhone XS and XS Max. Number three is portrait mode. I personally find the portrait mode on the iPhone XR much better. And on the iPhone X, I constantly have to find myself scooting back to get a decent portrait. For a single lens camera, the iPhone XR is amazing. The wide angle lens is super impressive as well, especially in a smart HDR situation where it blows the iPhone X out of the water. Number four is screen size. The iPhone XR features a 6.1-inch LCD panel at 326 pixels per inch. Yes, the people who are bashing this screen without even using it, you gotta use this panel in person to appreciate it. The display quality is pretty good in my opinion. I didn't find anything pixelated or blurry compared to the iPhone X. To tell you the truth, I'm really enjoying this LCD panel on the iPhone XR. It just feels more soothing to the eyes. True Tone also works a lot better. True Tone on the XS and the iPhone X is way too aggressive, and it makes the screen yellow. And you also get a bigger footprint. Overall, Apple did an excellent job with this LCD panel. Number five is battery performance, and this is where the XR dominates. The XR with its lower resolution screen and pretty big battery pack can literally run almost up to a day and a half. That is insane. Many of you guys asked for a slightly thicker iPhone with longer battery life, and Apple delivered. Meanwhile, the iPhone X's battery is good, but not great. I usually find myself charging more towards the end of the day very often. Number six is cheaper to own and repair, which means lowest cost of ownership. Traditionally, LCD panels are much cheaper than OLED panels, so therefore if you need any screen repairs down the road, it's going to be much cheaper. For example, Apple is charging $199 compared to $279 for the iPhone X and XS, and the XS Max is $329. That's insane. Number seven is performance. Don't get me wrong, the A11 from the iPhone X is no slouch. However, the A12 Bionic and its much more powerful GPU is a beast. This chip is almost matching the performance of some Intel mobile chips. The A12 Bionic chip will be supported longer since it's based on the new 7nm, so if you're looking to see whether a used iPhone X or XR is a better buy, be sure to keep that in mind when you're ready to purchase. Number 8 is the new and improved stereo speakers. I didn't think this was a big deal since the iPhone X had them as well, but the new speakers on the XS, XR, and XS Max are very loud, and they're tuned very well, and the difference is noticeable. Number 9 is the zoom mode functionality. For some reason, Apple decided to disable this feature on the iPhone X, even though the other smaller iPhones like the 6, 7, and 8 had it. If you're getting old and starting to have eye problems, then you'll greatly appreciate the zoom mode on the iPhone XR. It just makes the user interface on the whole operating system bigger and bolder to make it easier to read. I didn't realize how useful this feature was until I got to use it again on the XR. Number 10 is the stereo recording while shooting video. This is a super underrated feature in my opinion that most people are not talking about. It makes a huge difference. You can literally hear which side the audio is coming from. So if you're recording your kids at a soccer game, you can literally hear which all the action is coming from left to right. I thought this feature was reserved for the iPhone XS only, but Apple hooked up the iPhone XR as well. And last but not least, number 11 here is the keyboard is much easier to type on compared to the skinny iPhone X. The keyboard on the iPhone X just feels a little too crammed. With the XR, the spacing makes it much more comfortable to type on. To be honest, I wasn't really interested in trying out the XR based on looking at the spec sheet alone, but boy was I wrong. Apple has built an iPhone that majority of consumers will be more than pleased. To sum it up, I've been really happy with the XR and I'm keeping it. It has the latest design, the latest processors, the same super impressive main camera just like the XS, Face ID which I've grown to really love. I don't even miss Touch ID anymore. I always hear other YouTubers talking about if Apple had the XR for $6.99, then these would sell like hotcakes. Well folks, you're in luck because if you're a Costco member, they have the 64GB XR for $6.99 and the 128GB XR for $7.49. They'll also waive all SIM card and activation fees, so that'll help offset the overall cost of the device. Check them out as this is where I bought my iPhone XR and I'm very pleased with it. Alright guys, this about wraps up my video on why I personally switched from the iPhone X to the iPhone XR. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the new XR. Do you plan on getting one? Have you seen one in person? What do you think about the screen quality, the camera, and overall performance? Do you think you're getting your bang for your buck, or you plan on getting a used iPhone X? Or do you plan on getting something else? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below as I'm very curious. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Alright guys, thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.